What exactly goes down when you cross that invisible line into your 60s? I mean, is it just game over for your physique? Welcome to this explainer, guys. I am super pumped you're tuning in because today we are talking about getting absolutely undeniably jacked after 60. Look, I know the fitness industry wants you to believe that once you hit senior discount age, you should just grab a pair of water wings and stick to walking the mall. But what if I told you there's a proven way to build dense, explosive muscle right now? What if I told you that a 59, soon-to-be 60-year-old Mike Tyson is using a very specific protocol to look and hit like a literal freight train? We're going to break down the science, the nutrition, and the hidden 5-exercise blueprint to absolute beast mode. But listen, I'm keeping those exact 5 moves locked in the vault until the end of this explainer, so you got to stick with me. All right, let's dive into this.
Man, I gotta be real with you guys for a second and share a bit of my own story. I vividly remember hitting the big 6-0. You wake up, you walk into the bathroom, you look in the mirror, and suddenly, things just look a little, well, softer. Your shoulders kind of slump a bit more. You gotta pick up a heavy box in the garage, and your lower back practically screams at you. It triggers this deep, primal fear, doesn't it? The fear of losing your strength, losing your edge, and ultimately losing your independence. It's that sinking feeling that your body is just slowly fading out. But brother, I recently stumbled onto some wild clinical research that proves that absolutely does not have to be our reality.
Because there is hope. There's a totally different path, and it revolves around a hidden 5-move blueprint to beast mode. These are the exact 5 movements utilized by Iron Mike Tyson in his late 50s to maintain this explosive, heavily muscled physique that honestly embarrasses guys half his age. I'm going to reveal every single one of those brutal exercises to you. But first, we need to understand the why behind the what. We've got to look at why almost everything you've been fed about senior fitness is basically garbage.
Section 1. The heavy lifting secret.
Let's shift gears into the clinical, hard science of what's actually happening to our bodies as we age, and why the standard advice to just take it easy is literally the fastest route to a nursing home. The real enemy here isn't just getting older, it's a condition called dynapnea. Simply put, this is the age-related loss of your maximal strength and your explosive power. And here's the crazy science behind it. As we get older, our nervous system actually stops communicating effectively with our muscles. It's clinically called a loss of efferent neural drive. Think of it like having a super weak Wi-Fi signal from your brain to your biceps. Your fast-twitch muscle fibers, the ones responsible for power, speed, and looking jacked, they basically just fall asleep because they aren't getting the signal to fire. And regular everyday stuff like walking the dog or golfing, they don't require fast-twitch fibers, so those muscles just waste away.
So what does your doctor usually tell you? Oh, just grab some 3-pound bank dumbbells and do some high-rep arm circles. Man, that 3-pound dumbbell fluff is completely backwards. Doing 50 reps with a featherweight does absolutely nothing to wake up those sleeping fast-twitch fibers. The clinical research pits that useless advice against something called maximal strength training, or MST. MST involves lifting heavy, and we're talking 85 to 90% of your 1-rep max here. Heavy loads are literally the only thing that forces your brain to crank up that efferent neural drive and recruit those dormant muscle fibers.
Now, what's really insane here is the sheer magnitude of the results in the clinical data. When looking at this chart showing strength gain per session in older adults doing heavy to very heavy strength training, just look at those bars. We're seeing strength gains spike all the way up to 7% per single session in guys our age. You are literally rewiring your central nervous system. You can restore your maximal muscle strength to the level of a young adult in just a matter of weeks. It's not a myth. It is hard, peer-reviewed science. Heavy lifting is for sure the fountain of youth.
Moving right along to Section 2, Mastering the Protocol.
Okay, so before we hit the actual exercises, we have to know exactly how to lift heavy without wrecking our shoulders or our spine. The secret is all in the biomechanical execution. It's a precise 3-step science. Step 1, a slow eccentric phase. You're going to lower the weight under total control for 2 to 3 seconds. This builds immense strength and keeps you from tearing a joint. Step 2, a brief 1-second pause at the bottom. Why? Because injuries happen when you violently bounce the weight out of the bottom position. That pause kills the momentum dead. Step 3, the explosive concentric. You explode the weight up with maximum intent. Look, even if the weight moves slowly because it's super heavy, your intention must be fast. That explosive intent is exactly what fires up that neural drive we just talked about.
All right, Section 3. The Mike Tyson blueprints.
All right, my guys, the wait is officially over. Let's unpack the exact 5 exercises a 59-year-old Mike Tyson uses to maintain his terrifying explosive power and that crazy physique. Exercise number 1, weighted abdominal crunches. Now, I am not talking about flailing around on a pink yoga mat. I'm talking about heavy, controlled, weighted crunches. Tyson's trainer actually bookends every single session with these. They do a set of 30 reps, take a few breaths, and jump right back in with basically 0 breaks. Why? Because power doesn't start in your arms. It starts in your feet, travels up your legs, and rotates through a rock-solid core. If your core is mush, you leak power. These crunches aren't for beach abs, guys. They are about building a thick, weaponized core that transfers massive force.
Exercise number 2, rear delt flies. Most guys at the gym totally ignore this muscle, and that's exactly why they walk around hunched over like they're looking for loose change on the sidewalk. The rear deltoid is right at the back of the shoulder. Training it aggressively pulls your shoulders back into proper alignment, completely fixing that rounded forward old man posture. Tyson hits 20 reps of these, and here is the real kicker. He holds the contraction at the very top of every single rep. That isometric hold forces the rear delt to do the actual work instead of just relying on swinging momentum. It stabilizes the whole shoulder joint for the heavy pressing that comes next.
Which leads us perfectly into exercise 3, the shoulder press. This is the absolute meat and potatoes for functional upper body strength. Tyson's trainer is constantly yelling out this one specific cue: big chest posture. It sounds simple, right? But it's literally everything. It means you keep your spine tall, you absolutely do not let your shoulders roll forward, and you keep that chest wide open. If you do heavy presses with compromised posture, you're just training your body to move like a frail old man. Tyson actually went from hitting 17 reps to 20 reps on this exact movement at 59 years old. Progressive overload is a fact, guys, no matter what your birth certificate says.
Exercise 4 is the incline dumbbell press. We angle the bench up to specifically target the upper chest, building that full athletic armor plate look. The form cues to remember here are keeping tight elbows, locking those shoulders back, and aggressively squeezing the chest at the top. But his trainer mentioned something super fascinating here. They are actively chasing vascularity. Seeing those veins pop isn't just about looking cool in the gym mirror. Vascularity is a massive biological signal. It means your circulation is incredibly strong, your muscles are engorged with blood, and your body is in a highly active state of youthful development.
Now, right before we hit the final, most brutal exercise, we really need to clarify one huge concept: the difference between strength and power. Strength is simply how much force you can produce, but power is how fast you can produce that force. Think about it. A lot of old guys can slowly push a ton of weight on a leg press machine, but if they trip on the sidewalk, they don't have the power to snap their leg out fast enough to catch themselves. We absolutely need to train pure explosive power.
And that brings us to the final boss move. Exercise 5, the explosive medicine ball throw. You take a heavy med ball, we're talking anywhere from 6 to 20 pounds. Bring it down to your lower chest, load your whole body up like a coiled spring, and fire that ball straight upward with maximum violent force. This specifically trains your nervous system to go from 0 to 100 in a fraction of a second. Tyson rips through 15 reps of these bad boys. It is exhausting, it is incredibly demanding, but is the ultimate game changer for retaining your youth, your speed, and your raw athleticism.
All right, final piece of the puzzle. Section 4, fueling the machine.
But you gotta listen to me carefully on this one. Doing these 5 brutal exercises means absolutely nothing if you don't feed the engine right. The harsh truth is, once you cross that big number, age 60, standard dietary recommendations for protein are complete garbage. You can train like Iron Mike all day long, but if your nutrition is dialed into some 1990s food pyramid guidelines, you're actually going to lose muscle. As we age, our body develops something called anabolic resistance. Basically, it becomes much harder for your body to synthesize protein into lean muscle mass. So if you're just eating the standard recommended daily allowance of protein, you're literally starving your muscles. To build and maintain that jacked physique after 60, you need significantly more protein than the average guy, just to trigger the muscle building process and recover from the heavy lifting we just went over.
So here we are, guys, right at the crossroads. Look at this final question. Are you going to let age just fade you out, let your fast twitch fibers go to sleep, and accept those 3-pound pink dumbbells as your fate? Or are you ready to step up, lift heavy, fix your diet, and build your body into a weapon like Mike Tyson? The science is completely on your side here. The blueprint is right in front of you. Now you just have to put in the work. Get out there, get jacked. And hey, if you want more no-fluff, hard science breakdowns exactly like this one, make sure to subscribe to this explainer. Catch you in the next one, guys.